Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Sayyid Farooq Hasan would like to welcome all of you to a brand new episode of Sky is the Limit. As you all know, it's my resolve to bring out the unsung heroes in our society. People who are doing good, people who are contributing towards the cause of Pakistan. And the other purpose is basically to inspire our younger generation and public in general by their feats so that we can have more of such people. Today I happen to be sitting with such an individual with more than 40 years of service in the Pakistan Air Force. He is one of the distinguished officers. After that, he got an opportunity to lead the national airline of Pakistan, which is Pakistan International Airline. Another challenging task, challenging assignment, which he did successfully. And now, after having served in both these positions, he is actively involved in a lot of social work which directly affects our society. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to all of you Air Marshal Arshad Malik. Assalamu alaikum, Sir Arshad.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you so very much for giving us time. I've been trying to get him on this screen for a long time. Couldn't succeed, but this time I was lucky, so I'm glad that I'm sitting with him right now. Sir Arshad, I don't need to mention your accolades and achievements and 40 years of illustrious service with the Pakistan Air Force. But tell me, where did this journey start from? Where do you hail from? How were your early school days?
Farooq bhai, first of all, pleasantries, right? So first of all, I'm grateful to you. I know you've been chasing me. One, I don't find myself the way you are describing. It is just my humble personality, which I don't know how is inspiring you. But we'll talk it out and we'll see how can we leave an impression. But yes, alhamdulillah, Allah has been very kind, no complaints. I'm among the blessed people, alhamdulillah. And it, of course, it comes through your the prayers of your parents,
Yes,
first of all.
elders. Yeah.
Elders, well-wishers, and of course your family. Your family supports you, your wife supports you. So, but end of the all, I think one has to strive also. If you
Absolutely.
don't strive, and if you keep relying on prayers, कि Allah ही आएगा तो बचाएगा, that doesn't
There is
happen.
no shortcut to
There's no
success.
shortcut to success. So, talking about me, yes, I hail from Faisalabad.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, again very fortunate. My father was a businessman, a humble businessman, but prioritization was our education. So he did everything which he could do. Farooq bhai, I could tell you that he used to have a bicycle.
Okay.
So we went to Division Public School, one of the best schools in Faisalabad.
DPS
at that-
Faisalabad,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I've heard about it.
So it was a design and a campus was great campus.
It's a government school.
No,
It's a private
it's
school.
a private school,
Okay.
but patronized by the civil government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my father used to bicycle us every day. Me in front, my brother, elder brother.
How many siblings are you?
We are two brothers, and I have 4 sisters.
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah.
And you are which
I am,
number?
in the middle.
In the middle. Okay. Okay.
So he used to bicycle us every day, about 8 to 10 kilometers.
Okay.
I was in front, my brother was in the rear, and the only thing he used to tell us was, "Ke beta, education and education, nothing else."
The only
Yeah.
way to succeed
The only
is
way to succeed. And he was a matriculate of 1940 himself. Because of the circumstances, he could not
Study
pursue
further.
his academic excellence. So, alhamdulillah, so we started from Divisional Public School, Faisalabad. This was one school again, which I think which nurtured me and my personality, whatever I am today. It is two factors. Second, we'll talk about later. So it had, at that time, 1978, I did my matric, so I joined around 1970. So 70s mein, this had a gymnasium, this had a swimming pool, this had
Okay.
a cricket ground, this had a athletics ground, proper hostel.
And how was the fee structure? Was it
Yes,
expensive?
very interesting. You reminded me of a very good thing. At that time, in 1970, we used to pay 33 rupees, 30 paisas. And we used to think this 30 paisa is for the guy who collects the fee.
Admin charges.
Adventure.
But 33 rupees in those days.
Is a huge amount.
Was a good
and I
fee.
don't know that how my father was managing it, because he was a
Was
humble
he
businessman.
in service
No,
or?
he was a businessman.
He was a
He
businessman.
started his career with service,
Mhm.
but he said that seeing the practices, he was into income tax department.
Oh, okay.
So he thought this is not for me.
Okay.
So then he came for goods forwarding agency he established.
Okay.
So there my career started, and I think my first touch came from Divisional Public School, Faisalabad. Even now I go back. It had an auditorium, and we used to have the vocational classes during those times: metal work, electric work, woodwork.
During school days?
During school days.
Wow.
One period was dedicated. Then we had a huge library. They used to pick up the good boys, and fortunately I also
Amongst the good boys.
sneaked in for the good boys.
Okay.
So we used to be taken for a library period which was exclusively for good boys and for rest of the people also. So that grooming, and then extracurricular activities were such that we used to be exposed to speeches. There used to be a dedicated drama
Okay.
for about 3 hours drama which was being conducted at the stage. So imagine the standard of
In
not-
those days?
Those days.
And is it maintaining the stand? Have you been
Yes,
to this?
yes, I've
It's-
been
it's the same.
going
Because I
back and
haven't
forth.
heard of any school which is offering vocational skills to toddlers or to,
And I'm talking about 70s.
Oh.
So imagine. So the principals who were being selected, they were top of the line educators, academia. Also, they were ex-cadet college principals.
Okay.
So the grooming and the nurturing or the nourishment which we see. And we used to have a hostel also. And afternoon games or evening games were compulsory. So we used to get dropped in the morning, go back, and again come back for the sports activities. Then for the extracurricular activities, DPS was again standing well outside. So this is how I think my first touch came from DPS.
So, Sir Arshad, you are telling all the good things, but tell us how you were as a kid or as a student. Were you a naughty kid or were you the studious teacher's pet kind of a person?
Not a studious at all, very naughty.
Very naughty.
Very naughty.
Okay.
But my father, may Allah bless his soul, he was a very, very strict man.
Okay.
But we used to find an opportunity to sneak out, go for kiting,
Okay.
go for all kind of sports.
So you were involved in extracurricular activities,
Too
all
much.
debates
Yes.
and all,
Yeah.
and studies also.
Studies also.
Who had more influence on you, your elder brother
No,
or
my
your father?
My father was running the show.
Okay.
We were 6 siblings, so every evening we used to sit down together. So he used to take our English and math classes, and he would ask everybody.
Okay.
Another very admiring thing which happens during those time, I don't know whether you were exposed or not, we used to sleep in open veranda, everybody. And there used to be 2 fans, one on each side, and we used to fight who has
Who's
to
going
sleep
to get the
closer
first
to a
slot?
fan.
Yeah, yeah.
But my mom, may Allah give her good health, she used to touch and conduct lessons of Quranic verses from everybody. So she used to start from the elder brother and elder sister, and then by the
Trickle
time
down.
it was me, so I would always knock off.
Okay.
So this was the kind of grooming or education or the
So the environment, the grooming, that
Yes.
plays a very
Huge role.
vital role in your
role of parents.
shaping your career.
Role of parents.
Yeah.
And then the bond among our brothers and sisters, that was alhamdulillah very
Exemplary.
strong. Yes.
Okay.
So that's how Arshad Malik
Okay,
started.
very nice.
Yeah.
So you were an average student, as I gather.
No. Alhamdulillah, I was a better student among the
You
top
were
one.
among the top 10
Yeah,
students.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you were good in studies.
About top 4,
and
5, yes.
extracurricular activities, you were excellent.
Because there was a match between me and my brother. My brother was more outgoing.
Okay.
He was kind of a good debater. He was into, at that time, DPS also used to have students' union.
Okay.
So he was into student politics as well. So I had to, match him, catch him up.
Okay.
So from academics, we both were kind of equal.
Okay.
So from extracurricular activities,
You used
so
to
I started to catch up on
Speed
him.
up. Okay.
Yeah.
And every kid has a dream or a vision or is influenced by his parents or friends that what he wants to be when he grows up, right?
Yeah.
I remember in 70s, 80s, it used to be 3 professions, doctor, engineer, or a chartered accountant or
Yes.
something. These are 3 main.
Absolutely.
Anyone you would ask, what was your dream when you were growing up? What did you want to become?
Yeah. As I told you that my father was all about education, so we were all oriented towards medical.
Medical.
My father-in-law, who is my uncle, he was a doctor. His father was a doctor. So it was all oriented towards medical education. We wanted to become doctors. But as the luck would have it, 6 or 7 of our friends, one day we just was passing. We used to go to university, agriculture university, and there was a PF section
Faisalabad,
center.
yes.
Yeah. So we used to cycle in those corridors because that was a university which was beautifully made by Americans. There was a long corridor. So we used to enter from one corridor on
And just
bicycles,
cycle.
and then the guards would be after us.
And that was an adventure.
It was a venture. Then we used to go to the botanical garden which was there. We used to pluck the mangoes or the oranges. So those kind of activities were there. So one day while we were running out from the guards, we saw a selection center written. This is I'm talking about, metric. So we decided why not that we knock this door.
Okay.
So we knocked that door. Unplanned,
3-4 friends.
Seven.
Seven
Seven of us. Unplanned. So as we entered, so 3 of us were thrown out because of their height. Because they were very
okay. The minimum height, they couldn't
Yeah,
meet the
they
minimum.
As the luck would have it, I started to clear the preliminaries. So
Okay.
first test passed, second test passed,
But wasn't that conflicting with your dream of becoming a doctor?
because it is just an adventure on which we are
Oh,
embarked.
you weren't serious
No,
about it,
not
it's
at
just
all.
that I'm giving a test.
Nobody knew about it.
Okay.
Only us friends.
Okay.
So once the next day they called us that okay, next day you come for the medical. So again 4 of us went. Out of 4, again 2 of us
Dropped
were
out.
rejected. So we 2 were selected. So then I got serious. I said, look, oh, what is this happening?
This is
I mean,
something
this is
happening.
not. I have to tell it to my father. So may Allah bless his soul. So I came home 3rd day or 4th day, and I said, I've cleared my preliminaries. I've cleared my medical. He said, what the hell? Where the hell are you gunning? What are you doing?
When did you do it?
How did it happen? So 2 of us, my friend and myself, we went and we then, in a very polite way, explained him that it has just happened. So we just want to try our luck. He said, okay, try your luck. So then they sent us for ISSB. So we, at that time, it used to be only
Inter-Services
Quad.
Selection Board.
Yeah, it used to be quad. So as the luck, people say, so everybody would say there are in Pakistan, every 3rd student is dropped out from ISSB. So it is normal. So I said, okay, so let me try it.
You were going with the aim that, even if it doesn't happen, it's no big.
Once we ended up
Deal.
in ISSB, I was again fortunate that in my batch, there were people from Hassan Abdal and Pitaru.
Okay.
They were good guys, much better than me.
Those candidates groomed for the academy.
Yes, and they were very good guys. So again, we did some silly things over there, like at night time, we were in hostel. This was my first exposure in the hostel life. So we used to pull out somebody's quilt, we painted it with the black polish, those kind of stuff.
I'm
But-
sure they remember.
But that Allah was very kind that I was selected.
Okay.
So then my father also got serious.
And your
This
friend
guy-
was selected also?
No, I was now.
You were the only one amongst the 7 friends?
Yeah, now I'm the only one. So then my father's, I was never taken seriously by even my house.
Okay.
They were all saying he's a naughty character, he's not serious.
So it's
And
good that he's going to the academy, he'll be reformed.
So my father got serious. He said, well, there looks a chance that he might be selected. Now, by that time, honest to God, I didn't have an idea about fighter pilot or flying. My father used to tell me once I was a toddler, so I used to swing in that
Cradle or
wherever, and I used to say flying, but honest to God,
you don't remember.
Yeah. So that's how I ended up for medical test, and
You
I was
cleared
very
it.
kind, again declared fit.
Okay.
Or
And now you got the selection
now
letter
I
from the
got
Air
the
Force.
selection letter,
That
but,
you-
but my family, we were double-minded. So I joined Government College, Faisalabad. That was the top college in Faisalabad on merit because I was Alhamdulillah. So I went to college. There my colleagues told me, what the hell are you doing? You have become a fighter pilot. And then I started to think, oh, I am a fighter pilot.
So,
So-
that offer letter was valid.
Yes.
You still joined the
I
college.
joined the college.
And then you had a
Spent
second
1
thought.
week.
Okay.
So after 1 week,
You
so I
decided that
called
I
it
want
off,
to.
And then I.
But that must have been a tough decision on you also, because obviously going into a very disciplined environment, an academy where there's a lot of responsibility, and obviously you're serving the country when you graduate from there. It's a change of mindset. So did you get any second thoughts or any jitters that am I doing the right thing?
For telling you very honestly, I didn't have any idea about discipline.
It just happened.
It just happened.
Okay.
So I said, we are going to PF College, Sargodha.
Okay.
and we are going to be fighter pilots.
It's a new college and I'm going to enjoy it.
No, it is just that I'm going to become a fighter pilot.
Okay,
from
that
the
was
next
it.
day onward.
Okay.
I didn't know that it
There's
is
no
going to be
training or-
academic
okay.
training. We said that we are going to go and fly the aircraft.
So you just wanted to be a fighter pilot?
Fighter pilot.
Okay.
And then once we ended up PM College Sargodha, the rigorous training of 4 years.
You thought that maybe I should have stayed back at the Faisalabad
Many
college?
times,
Huh?
many times.
Okay.
Then I was brought back on my platform. That look, this is
So
what.
how was the academy? How was your first day? Like going from a very independent environment, hanging out with friends, going out, having dinner, and then going to a totally disciplined environment, where you have to act totally in a very, very responsive manner. How was the transformation?
Well, as I was leaving, so I dressed up very well, new shirt, new trouser, and I still remember I had a comb in my pocket that all the time.
Okay,
From-
my hairstyle should not be
hairstyle
affected.
should not be affected. I used at that time the perfume was some very common kind of perfume which is not traceable these days.
Okay.
So I ended up PM College Sargodha, and now I am thinking that I am on top of the world.
Yeah,
I am a
everyone is
fighter
going to
pilot
salute
and
me because
everything.
I've come to the academy.
So GTS, Government Transport Service, used to be a
Government Transport Service, yeah.
At that time, flying coaches were not the concept. So my father said goodbye to me. Actually, they had gone to attend a wedding somewhere else. So I had my own very
From
confident.
Faisalabad to Risalpur.
Sargodha.
Sargodha.
So 2 hours drive, very confident, big bag with me, full of clothes and blah, 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 blah. So as I ended up on the gate of PM College Sargodha, so I was received by 2 of my seniors. They said, hello. I said, hi. So they said, why have you come here? I said, I'm going to become a
I'm a
fighter
fighter
pilot.
pilot.
They said, okay, we'll make you a fighter pilot.
Okay.
So as auto rickshaw, they drove away.
Left,
So
yeah.
they asked me very very politely. I still remember, and I.
And
still
you remember
meet them.
those seniors also?
I remember. I still meet them every
Okay.
day. So he said, please put this bag on your head and
Okay.
start to run around.
Okay.
So I placed
That-
that
okay.
big bag, and I started to run around them. And I was thinking, what the hell? Where have I ended up?
What am I doing?
And then I dropped my bag. I said, sir, there must be some confusion.
Yeah.
I have come here to become a fighter
Fighter pilot. You are considering me
You're
in some other
considering it
category.
some other category. Uncle, we'll make you fighter pilot very soon.
Yeah.
Just keep running around. It was September, 22nd September.
Okay.
I still remember, 1978.
Okay.
So, sir, 1 hour and I was back to normal.
With your bag on.
Back on my
And
head.
did you have any accomplices with yourself? It was a solo practice.
I was so excited. I was probably among the first ones.
To reach.
The first fools.
And then, then you realize you should have come later. Okay.
The very wise people and those who had the exposure or those whose parents were there. So they ended up in the evening. So I was among the excited characters.
That I'm going to go
And I was sorted out nice and proper
Yeah.
to become a fighter pilot on very first day.
first day. Okay.
But Farooq, I tell you, I think Alhamdulillah, as I said after my parents, I think it is PF College Sargodha which has made me and shaped me the way I am sitting
The
beside
foundation laid. Okay.
you. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
It was one of the finest institute. It is still one of the finest institutes. It has one of the best teachers. All most of them were civilian teachers.
Oh, okay.
And they had the experience of more than 30 years plus.
Okay.
They were from Aligarh, they're from Nigeria, they're from Dhaka, and they were top of the line teachers who used to adopt us as their children.
Okay.
We were no more students for them.
Okay.
We used to live in our houses, and they were our house in charge. They would feel as I am their son. And Farooq, I tell you, the kind of sports environment, the kind of academic environment, the kind of exposure we had, and the kind of extracurricular activities and the discipline,
Exemplary.
outstanding.
How long did it take for you to transform from a normal individual, like a carefree student, to a disciplined?
One day,
One day? Okay, that's what I wanted to. Okay.
one day, they
That
would-
running around must have
running
affected you.
around was a minor and
Minor
the
thing,
most
okay.
simplest thing.
Okay.
But one day, our seniors, they
Groomed you in a way
groomed you
that-
but it was only the seniors, who was grooming us. But the teachers, they adopted us, and I think for first day I was like a cadet, but in 3 to 4 days I didn't know where am I, what is happening to
Right.
me, the kind of routine.
It was just happening.
It was just.
The speed was
I
too
mean,
good.
you had to change your dress from one dress to another dress in 1 minute. You had to report from one dress to another dress and reach a destination in 2 minutes, which is humanly impossible. But we managed it. Then we started to do our academics, and we the classrooms, the auditoriums, the libraries, and the access to the knowledge which was granted by the experienced teacher. It was amazing.
Okay. And so then now that you're settled in the academy, you realize that maybe I was made for this.
Yes.
You had no regrets that
No, absolutely
I
no
should have
regret.
done medicine or anything.
There was a sense of competitiveness the day you arrive, because first few days you don't know what is happening.
Okay.
Right? It is such a environment. But then after 1 month, then the competition started.
And then the pride that I think they feed in you, that you're doing a national service,
And
you
you're
are
the cream of
serving
the
under the
nation.
flag of
Yeah,
Pakistan.
yeah. They would always motivate you that you are cream of the nation. And it was true also, not that I'm trying to boast
Because you come
myself.
through such a grind.
Yes, such a grind. And we were so many people, and we were just there as 69 after 1978 to class. Must be thousands must have applied, and only 60 odd people are coming up. And out of
From
those,
all of Pakistan.
From all of Pakistan. So they would give you pride. They would tell you that you are the cream of the nation. The only thing was that fighter pilot was missing somewhere.
Somewhere, which you wanted to become
Which we
overnight.
wanted to become fighter pilot.
Okay, all right, okay. So the 4 years in academy?
4 years in PF College, Sargodha.
Okay, and then
graduate
you,
as a
flying
PS.
officer?
No. Then from PF College, Sargodha, you end up in Risalpur for your flying training.
So 4 years in Sargodha,
1.5 year in Academy Risalpur.
that's a practical training?
That's a flying training.
Flying training,
Yeah. So
okay.
that is where you started to become the pilot.
Fighter pilot, that you were dreaming for.
Yes.
It took you 4 years to reach that stage.
To reach that.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
you have an instructor pilot. I was among those people who were not, I mean, this is as the luck would have it, I was a vomiting case.
Okay.
And as a normal, person, if you are vomiting and flying, you are no more fit for the flying.
Oh, okay.
But there's no harm in sharing. I was blessed that I got one of the very, very humble and polite instructors with me. I would say that my strength was that I was, by that time, I was very studious, because this is your career, and I never gave up.
And you get serious.
Yeah, you get serious. I
yeah.
never gave up. There were friends with me who were vomiting cases, so they quit. They said, we cannot pull along. I was the one who consistently stayed.
That, despite everything, you said, I'm going to
do
become a
everything.
fighter
So
pilot.
they would tell me, hang upside down. So I would stay upside down for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, which is quite some. Then I would take onions. I would not eat anything. They told me to smoke, but fortunately I never
You
smoked.
didn't
never.
heed to that advice. Okay.
I did everything, but my vomiting would not stop. Every mission. So then my instructor, Allah gave him good health. You know what he found out? He said, Mr. Arshad, vomiting is my problem, performance is your problem. So I understood that. So then I used to work very hard onto my checks, procedures, and those on ground studies. And as we go up in the air, so he would make me vomit in the first 5 minutes. So I would vomiting back. So he would throw it. He says, "Okay, gift for the people who are on ground,
Oh my God.
from the
Okay.
people who are up in the sky."
Okay.
So then, after 5 minutes, I was all normal.
Okay.
So that's how I started my career.
Okay.
And my instructors, they all along supported
So
me
you-
because of one thing: consistency, your hard work, and your impression that you want to do it. I don't want to lose it.
You didn't let your weakness become a deterrent in what you want to achieve.
Yes.
That resolve, that faith kept you going.
And that was then augmented through my academic, I would not say excellence, but I was kind of better guy, and the extracurricular activities. I was
Okay.
into sports,
Fair
every
enough.
sports.
Fair enough.
Long races, short races, hockey, football. And then, alhamdulillah, I was a very good debater. And then I was, as I told you, probably kind of a naughty guy. So I was the lead person for any social event. So caricature was my, So these kind of things augmented. So one, I remember I had a bad mission. On the same evening, flying mission, it was a very bad performance. So in the same evening, we had a hockey match with PMA. So I performed well. So my instructor next day called me and tapped me. He said, "Okay, forget it. You
Forget
did
your
well in the
mission, you
evening."
do. You made it up.
So what I want to say is that if you have one weakness, you can always augment it through alternate means. If you have one weakness and you stay, oh, this is my weakness, what would happen? No.
And you let it bog you down, then you
should not.
lose your track.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then finally you graduated in the 76th
GDP course, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
general duty pilot.
My family, 76 GDP.
Great, mashallah. And then your journey in Air
Then your
Force
career
started,
starts,
and you served in different bases, different formations, at mid-level roles, senior
Yes.
roles.
Yes.
Any significant era
Appointment,
that you would like to mention
Yes.
during your journey of Air Force?
Yes, I think one of the best was that I was, alhamdulillah, fortunate that I was selected for command and staff calls in US.
Okay.
So I think that also gave me an opportunity to refine myself, to expose myself to the technology. I did it in 2002 in the kind of level, we were 500 international students. And for why I was again very fortunate, alhamdulillah, that I was selected or picked up as the chief rep of all international students.
Okay.
So 500 students, 100 international, and I was the chief rep. So that gave me a lot of strength. Then once I came back, I think that was a turning in my professional career. Flying was going on, alhamdulillah. I was picked up for Ops Research and Development Directorate.
Okay.
So there I stayed for about 3 years.
Okay.
That was the time where I finally learned how to interact with foreigners, how to be confident and negotiate with foreign vendors, with Chinese, with Americans, with Koreans, with Australians. So I think that was a turning point for my career. I learned a lot. And then people started to have faith in you because of your abilities. I was very blessed, alhamdulillah, that I was good to speak, good to communicate, and self-confidence also. So I would take on the Americans, and this was the strength of the Air Force actually. If your organization is with you, if your
If they're standing behind you, yeah.
if their superiors have faith in you, trust in you, and they send you abroad alone, and you're sincere to the cause. If you're not sincere to the cause, if you're just boasting about yourself, then Allah has His own, plan. So I think that was one turning point in my career, which transformed me yet another a bright PF officer.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The second thing happened once I went to China as a project director or the project team leader for JF-17 designing and development
Thunder.
program. Thunder. So that was again a very good program. I had with me the test pilots with me. I had test engineers with me, and I have top of the line engineers and pilots selected for this program.
Okay.
And we were working with two Chinese companies. One was the designer of JF-17 Thunder. It was top of the line designer institute of China. And the second was the manufacturing of fighter aircraft. By the way, the chief designer of the project who was with me, he still is the best designer in China. He's the one who has also designed the stealth fighter. He's the one who designed J-10C. He's the one who has designed JF-17. So this interaction and this exposure was tremendous. I picked up one thing from there, that such kind of, although we were all from uniform, what I picked up, that China, it is the academic strength, the academia and industry relationship, which gives you boost if you want to succeed and excel.
If you want to go way beyond.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So from that backdrop, I think I learned a lot.
Okay.
And finally, before I became, alhamdulillah, vice chief, I was trusted upon to become the chairman of Pakistan Aeronautical Complex.
PSC Kamra. Yeah.
Now this was the place where you were manufacturing, you were maintaining the aircraft, and you were also into joint sales and marketing team. So my previous experience of 3 years in ops research development and this 2 years of exposure of China, I think it helped me a lot.
No.
I was, alhamdulillah, again very successful. I led my team in a way that in our era, alhamdulillah, we very proudly say that my team, we signed 4 contracts and we exported 100 aircraft to 4 different countries.
Marshal.
To Nigeria, to Azerbaijan, to Qatar, and to Turkey. On Turkey, we were in competition with Korea and with the NATO countries. But I think, other than my organization support, it was our team which diligently worked and the experiences which we had brought from China. So that helped us to accomplish. Another thing, I'm talking
Please.
too much.
No, it's good. I want you to share these achievements.
Another key thing which happened, I believe that once you are living a professional life or wherever you are,
Yeah.
if you want to become a true leader, you should not be looking all the time back towards your organization. You should take initiative. You
Take the
should
lead.
Take the lead. And then guide the people or show them the path, even if they are your superiors. Only if you're sincere to the cause and you're convinced and you have done your homework. So Alhamdulillah, I was again very fortunate that I took the initiative of strengthening the bond between academia and industry.
Oh.
I may state, and maybe some of the serving officers may not agree with me, but I very firmly believe that it is not completely the job of a uniform officer, because you stay there for a 1 year or 2 year assignment and then you walk off.
Yeah.
It is the job of academia who has to join head with industry.
Picking the right man for the right job and sustainability. Ensure the sustainability.
Longevity.
All right, okay.
And then you also pick up the private industry. If you do not involve private industry, the organization like us, the defense forces, have their limitation. Whether we accept it or not, we are a disciplined nation, a disciplined organization. So I have to look towards my boss. I have to see his nod.
See his nod and what you. But Sir Arshad, I personally believe, I think Pakistan has probably one of the finest collection of defense products.
Yes.
And I think the only thing lacking is probably more exposure or more marketing efforts in that regard. And because I am convinced that product-wise, I think we have probably state-of-the-art technology.
You are right. I would say, you had just pointed it out, that look, in defense forces what happens is that I am being appointed as a chairman, right? At times it happens that you are there. There is no Farooq who is the more capable or able person, or who has that nag, It is also a knack. If you want
Marketing is a science.
It's a science. So if Farooq is not there and Arshad Malik happens to be at that slot at that time available, so you will make Arshad Malik as a chairman PSC or some
whatever assignment. Yeah.
I must be a very good officer. I have a lot of ability.
But maybe that skill is
missing.
Or probably not up to that level, which can augment that effort.
So then the second, I think the worst factor comes in, that I am appointed and I stay there for 1 year or 2 years, then I have to move on because of my professional or career assignment. Because if I stay stuck, my career may not
may stall. Fair enough.
So that is why I say that probably you need longevity, you need consistency and proper grooming.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Makes sense. Very, very interesting conversation with Air Marshal Arshad Malik. We have to take a short break here, but once we come back from the break, I need to ask him that at the pinnacle of his career, being the Vice Chief of Pakistan Air Force, he was given another very, very tough and challenging assignment, being that of heading the Pakistan International Airlines. How and why did he accept that challenge, and how did it fare out? Let's hear it from Mr. Arshad Malik, but before that, we'll take a short break. Welcome back to Sky's the Limit. This is Syed Farooq Hasan in conversation with Air Marshal retired Arshad Malik. Sir Arshad, you became Vice Chief of Air Staff, which itself is a milestone achievement. And at that time, you were offered, or you were requested, or you were asked to head Pakistan International Airline, which was probably not one of the best organizations in terms of financial health or service to head. How and why did you take up that challenge, and what did you do when you went there?
Well, very interesting tenure. I was picked up as Vice Chief by my course mate Mujahid, and we were working very well, alhamdulillah. We had good relation. So one fine day we were talking about how to go about it. So I requested him that why don't you go and see this Prime Minister and ask him that know, well, I would say that in true sense. I said that why Air Force guys do not get rehab assignments after retirement. So once we are retired, we're either at 55, 58, and we go home.
We have productive years left.
We have productivity. Some of our officers are very, very, really shining officers. So he was very kind. He understood that. So he went to the Prime Minister and he said, sir, anything about us? Because Pakistan Air Force has just one ambassador assignment out of so many, which are dedicated for defense services. So Prime Minister told him, yes, you have a point. But tell us, what can you do? He said, sir, why not that we do something for aviation, and because of our aviation background.
Expertise.
He said, oh, there you are. I'm looking for a person who can head Pakistan International Airlines. So he came back, he told me, oh, well, we have achieved. I said, okay, let's sit down. So we started to take out the names of retired senior officers.
Okay, who can head them?
Yeah, they were good people. So once he went to take with those names to the Honorable Prime Minister, so the Honorable Prime Minister said, no, I'm looking for a serving officer. So again, it was a kind of shock for us. So he came back, we discussed. So he started to smile. He said, Malik Saab, you know why I'm smiling? So I'm very thankful to him. He said that you're the only one who can do it. I said, no, let's not do that. Because one, that we are course-mates, we are friends. So let's not give this impression that we are trying to benefit each other.
Okay.
So let's give him again 3 names for the serving officer. So we gave him the names, a long story. He conducted the interview. So I still remember. So I walked in. So he said, okay, Marshal, what is in your mind? I said, sir, nothing, because I have no knowledge about PIA. And
that was a fact.
No, I didn't know anything about PIA, because unfortunately, it happens with us, the people who are in armed forces. You know, we are just glued on to whatever the task.
Whatever your focus, your project is.
Especially the Air Force guys. So.
And you travel on PIA also very less, because you have C-130.
Yeah, we have our own C-130.
Yeah, transport planes.
So he asked me the next question. Well, Marshal, if you are given this opportunity? I said, sir, he said that I know that you have been in aeronautical complex, Camera, blah, blah. You must have read somewhere my CV. So I said, yes, sir. So he started to smile. He said, you are the one. I said, sir, there are 2, because I was the senior most vice chief. I said, sir, there are 2 people, you must conduct the interview. He said, no, you're the one. But I requested him. So anyway, so I came back to Mujahid. I said, Mujahid, you've not done fair with me.
You put me in a tight spot.
So we had a great laugh. But then he said, let's do it. That whatever you need, we'll do it together. And let's do it for the country.
So you had full support of Sir Mujahid.
Absolutely.
And you went ahead.
I went with the selected group of people. I picked up one of the best people in the Air Force who were juniors to us. One of the best in ops, one of the best in logistics, one of the best in HR. These were the guys who, unfortunately, because of medical problem, did not have a career
in the Air Force. Okay.
Yeah. So he was, again, Mujahid was very kind. He said, okay, take this. So Farooq, I'll tell you a very interesting story. We stayed there for 3 years. So I was staying in officers' mess, Faisal. Mujahid had given everybody a room each to us. And we used to go every Monday on C-130 aircraft. Early morning, 7 o'clock we used to take off. 9 o'clock in the office and start with the morning brief. Friday again C-130, come back. I think it was a big, big challenge, because once I joined, so I had my course mates who were pilots over there. So they said, why have you come? It's going to collapse. It's a matter of days. So why have you come? You had a good repute and you were vice chief with so many perks and privileges. I said, well, I actually didn't know it, that how much. So sir, we started with it. So we made one rule, and that rule was no influence from anybody, come what may. You know,
no sifarish at all.
No sifarish at all. And second, we said, let's start to put the system in place. There was no system. There was no ownership, actually. Nobody was taking the ownership of airlines. They were all waiting, when does it collapse? I would not hesitate to state that it was political influence which was driving every step.
Okay.
May it be commercial, may it be industrial, may it be HR, may it be engineering. It was all politically.
So it was not acting like an institution, an organization.
Organization, a corporation.
Okay.
The board was ineffective. They would, just pass their time. So that was the time where we started with this. And We used to stay in office right in the morning, 9 o'clock till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and
Every day, day on
every day, day in out. And
So you cleared the backlog, you tried to fix the gaps, holes, and the inefficiencies, or whatever you could. And after 3 years, I think when you left, PA was in a much better
in
state.
2 years, I had the biggest challenge of Corona. All the airlines got collapsed.
Yeah.
And Alhamdulillah, PIA was the one, not only we survived, but we were into the green at that time. It was the trust of Foreign Office, trust of the government. We went to every city where we could imagine. We went to Australia to pick up our people. We went to USA direct flights. This was the only time. Otherwise, previously we used to go via Manchester or Frankfurt.
Yeah.
So this time we went straight to Washington DC.
Okay.
So, Alhamdulillah, Corona, we survived. There was again a crash, unfortunate incident. We survived that also. So, Alhamdulillah, and again, what happened? Initially, people did not accept us. The PIA guys,
Because the perception and
Yes. They did not accept us. But then they became part of the team.
Okay.
And I must admire those people, those who became part of us. We became a team, and then we started to work together. In 2 years, Alhamdulillah, then we started to gain.
But now PIA is again into privatization, and we're trying to privatize. The government is trying to privatize PIA. What prospects do you see in that?
You see, why did I leave PIA?
Yeah.
That is an interesting question. We should
Please.
ask, but I would
Please.
say. Once I completed my 3 years, so I went to government. I went to the big guys of. I told them that, look, I'm about to complete my 3 years. I have no intention of seeking extension, because principally I am against this. But I said only one condition, that Alhamdulillah things are moving better. So if you can give me money for new product, I can stay for 2 years. And within 2 years, I have this game plan. If you give me, only thing is, if you give me this money to change my product, because Alhamdulillah, the system were in place, the management were in place, people were aligned, PIA had become like a family. So at that time, unfortunately, the situation became that they did not
Accede to your request,
Yeah, they
and
did.
so then you left.
So I said that, okay, my tenure is completing,
Yeah.
so I'm walking off. So Farooq bhai, the problem with PIA is its management. If you have a strong management, if you have a leadership
With financial discipline.
who is a self-example also. You know, in our Islam, I remember, if I cannot quote it correctly, but probably Hazrat Umar Razillah Ta'ala anhu sent somebody as a leader to one of the provinces. He said, not talking, but through your personal conduct. So me and my team and my PIA team, we started to display our personal conduct in an exemplary way.
Lead by example.
Lead by example. So that was the faith and confidence which PIA team became a family.
Fair enough.
So this was the stage, and even today, if you change the product, because this product is not worthwhile.
So you need to rebrand it, reshape it, rechange it.
One, and secondly, very, very honestly, the Civil Aviation Authority needs to own you up. Once I took over, because of my Air Force, Alhamdulillah, I went to Turkey, I went to Qatar, I went to Malaysia, and those were the people whom I knew because of my aeronautical
Force connection,
compliance.
yeah.
So they taught me, and I learned. I stayed 2 years every place, and then again I'm grateful to Sultan Ali Alana. He guided me each step. So he held my finger, took me to Qatar. We met to Akbar. We went to Turkey. So there I learned that unless civil aviation and the national flag carrier are one, they are in sync, you cannot succeed. And this is the problem with Pakistan International
Here there are
Airline,
two
even
separate
today.
entities.
They are two separate entities.
Okay.
So you cannot succeed. So coming back, that what is happening today, unfortunately, because national carrier is a big strength.
Yeah.
It's a symbolic
It's a
thing. for-
strategic asset
Strategic. Because of leadership, because of lack of support, and because of faith in that leadership. This is what is happening today.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So now to your latter part of your career, which is your social work that you're doing. You're working with different organizations, doing a lot of good work, which I'm sure the general public would also like to participate. Would you like to enlighten us on that?
Yeah. Yeah, once I got retired from Air Force, so by virtue of my aviation background, PIE was a big name, and alhamdulillah, I think I earned a good name also. So a lot of people approached me that, okay, let's make a new airline, let's get into our business, be on our board. But I would say my wife, and we sat down together, and my wife told me, well, money, there's no limit.
God has given us everything.
God has given, or even not given, I'm okay with it. So there's a big strength. So my 2 kids, I have 2 sons, alhamdulillah, both are married, alhamdulillah. So we 4 of us decided that let's embark on some social work which is needed. Because my forefathers came from a very humble background. We have a village in district Khushab, which is a very beautiful valley which is called Soon Valley.
Soon Valley.
Soon, it's a
Soon's
beautiful
Kesar,
Soon's
okay.
Kesar. Very poor people. So we decided to do something. So I was very fortunate that I was picked up by Amjad Saqib Saab and
Dr. Amjad Saqib.
Dr. Amjad Saqib
Akhwat
Saab
Foundation.
and Tasneem Nurani Saab. So Dr. Saab guided me that go and join Tasneem Nurani. So the Nurani Akhuwat schools were being built. So alhamdulillah, we have a school in Faisalabad and we are making inshallah another school in Almabad.
Okay.
Then Air Commodore Shabir Angel, I would love that.
Sir
you should
Shabir
meet
Angel,
him.
everyone
Yeah.
knows him.
So he also asked me that why don't you join the Arshad Memorial Welfare Organization, and they have done an outstanding job.
Absolutely, no question about
No
it.
question about it. So I joined hands with them. They had a village, academic village plus the health village in Rashtabad, which is close to Tandu Khan. So they were replicating it in Sawabi. So I joined, alhamdulillah. I was fortunate I joined them. Then, because of my, I would say, chirp zubani or whatever, one day...
Your suave style, I would say.
Yeah, I was one day exposed to Dr. Hafiz, who is heading Al Khidmat Foundation.
Yep.
So he asked me...
Dr. Hafizur Rahman.
Hafizur Rahman. So he asked me that I have a place which is called Aghosh. So why don't you become the country director of those? There's a place where, the kafalat yatama is being done. So alhamdulillah, I picked up that. Then during my service career, I told you one thing, that you should never all the time get glued on to your organization. Do something which you feel and then just do it. So I did some social work in my base commander tenure in Shorecourt. So we are running, alhamdulillah, a hospital over there. Then back in our village, we, alhamdulillah, my forefathers had made a hospital, a school. So we are managing that.
Yes.
Farooq bhai, it is very, very essential that instead of cribbing or instead of criticizing the political or leadership, you should contribute and do whatever you can. And there is lot of activity which is required, which can be done. And you know that I'm involved in these activities, alhamdulillah. But more than that, what we are doing for Gaza, I think from Al Khidmat Foundation, we are probably 4th or 5th country in the world which is involved in humanitarian relief activities in Gaza.
Yes, I happened to interview Sir Hafizur Rahman and I was so pleasantly impressed. Absolutely right. And adding on to what you said, Sir Arshad, that I think when God gives you everything and you reach the pinnacle of your career, there's always a payback thing. The society, the environment, your home country, which has made you what you are, you owe it to that country.
Absolutely.
And Pakistan is our identity.
Absolutely.
Pakistan is, we are what we are because of Pakistan.
Because of
So
Pakistan,
I think it's absolutely essential that we give it back. Sir Arshad, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so very much for your time. Much as I would love to continue this conversation, due to paucity of time, we have to wrap up. But I wish you all the best. I'm sure there are a lot of Arshad Maliks in the making right now, and they'll be truly inspired by your life journey and the good work that you have done and you are doing right now. Thank you very much, sir. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here.
With this, viewers, we come to the end of this episode of Sky is the Limit. Inshallah, I will see you in another episode with a new guest. Till then,